Hi, I'm Romy. I'm a third-year undergraduate student of History of Art here at the Courtauld, and it is my pleasure to be here today with a couple of members of the Courtauld community to talk a little bit about student experience and what life might look like studying here. So I am here today with...
My name is Zain. I'm a second-year art history student at the BA program.
I am Meredith Winter. I am lecturer of early Islamic arts here and head of the third-year bachelor program.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I just graduated this year from the Courtauld with my bachelor's in the history of art, and I am now the president of the Courtauld Student Union.
So why should we study art history?
Well, art history is an incredibly interdisciplinary subject. I personally love it because you get to spend so much time in art galleries and museums, and you are able to look at works of art through so many different lenses. You can look at it through politics, law, sociology, and I just really love the fact that it's so interdisciplinary that way.
Yeah, it's really about examining the human experience. You can see what comes of the best of circumstances, what comes of the worst. You can see what happens when you have unlimited resources and when you have practically nothing. It's really a case study in the way people live their lives.
Yeah, it's basically the ultimate humanities subject, right? It's like humanities subject to end all humanities subjects. So that being said, what kind of a student might it appeal to?
The only prerequisite is curiosity. You don't need to have studied art history before. You can be idealistic, you can be cynical, you can be a revolutionary, you can like the status quo. But in any case, what you need is curiosity.
I didn't take art history for A-levels. When I applied, I was completely new to the subject. So I was doing I was researching on the internet and figuring out what art history was, trying to figure out what it was for me. But it's such an expansive subject. There's so many things to explore. You can talk about politics. You can talk about people's lives. You can talk about simply looking at art, the way things are constructed or the way things are made. Personally, I'm colorblind, so the latter doesn't really appeal to me that much because analyzing color isn't something that comes naturally to me. But despite that, I found there's so much room in art history to discuss, who is being represented, what is being talked about, what's the subject matter, and I think that's been really valuable for me as well.
Okay, so I'm convinced. I'm going to come study art history. Why should I choose the Courtauld?
So I would definitely say that it's the specialist quality of the institution. The Courtauld really does just only focus on the study and research of art history, its conservation and its curation, as opposed to an art history program that is set within a larger university. So you're just immersed in this total art history experience and institution. Personally, I'm from the US, and as you know, our university system works in a way that you have to take all these different topics and subjects as you specialize or before you specialize in your major. But I already knew what I wanted to study, so that first led me to looking for universities in the UK. And when I found the Courtauld, it just made sense, as I just wanted to get as much art history as I can. And I'd also say it's the Courtauld's small size. I also came from a really massive high school with a class of around 800 students. So coming to the Courtauld as an undergraduate and there's only 90 to 100 people in your class, and then it gets even smaller when you get into your seminars. You're never just a face in the crowd. You have so many opportunities to make friends and build relationships with your faculty, with your teachers, and with the building staff. And the Courtauld just feels so tight-knit, and there really is a community here. Then it's just the love for art history is contagious, and it's within everyone here.
I think that's absolutely it. You've hit the nail on the head with that at the end. I think everybody here is united by one thing, which is a passion. We all love what we do, and that trickles all the way down from the faculty to the students. Yeah.
And I think it's really important to think about the whole breadth of your university career. It's so lovely to come into this community that is so tight-knit. But over time, you're also going to want to stretch your wings a bit. And the Courtauld allows you to do that because we have partnerships with King's College London. We're part of the University of London. You have so many areas to grow. And on top of that, the more time you spend here, the more familiar you're going to be with all of the opportunities London has to offer and makes London part of your experience.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that drew me to the Courtauld personally, was this idea that a lot of the teaching happens actually in gallery spaces. So you're learning in front of objects. I know you mentioned that as well, Zain, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the opportunity of going into galleries, whilst you're studying, and as well as to do your homework, you have to like actually go to the Tate and just like look at these beautiful paintings, and it's just one of those really enjoyable experiences. And the fact that we're in London makes that so easy to do.
Well, yeah, I think one of the biggest opportunities as well, one of the best things about being at the Courtauld is access to the Courtauld Gallery itself, right?
Absolutely. I think one really unique thing about studying at the Courtauld is that we not only have an Institute of Art, which is like the university, but we also have the Courtauld Gallery. And the Courtauld Gallery is a really major and important collection of Impressionist and post-Impressionist art from the early 20th century and the late 19th century. And when we do modules on that, it's really great to be able to, have this ready access, and be able to interact with teams within the gallery who work in education, who work in curation, and ask them questions about that collection, and have that really human experience, something that you might not be able to do as easily if we weren't that intimately connected with the gallery itself. When we have seminars that actually go out into London and we go on site to be able to analyze artworks in situ, it's really quite handy to have such a wealth of like spaces, art spaces and galleries in London for us to be able to do that.
Absolutely, and you're learning presentation skills through that, you're learning people skills, how to interact with each other. Yeah, it's really wonderful. So what actually do you study on the BA program? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Well, so we start by building breadth, by giving you expansive experiences with all kinds of periods, all kinds of times and places. And the hope here is to expand your interests, develop interests, offer you a chance to change the way you look at things, and create a foundation that's going to serve you as you go into further depth as you choose interests that are particular to you, as you find people you want to work more closely with, that you're prepared to do that and that you've gotten all of that in the early years so that as you progress through the program, you can really excel at the areas that you choose.
Ooh. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. In the first year, which I've just finished, we've got such a wide range of different subjects and different geographies and time zones, time periods that we discussed. We've touched on ancient Greek sculpture right at the start, but then we talked about Byzantine art, we talked about contemporary arts, and Black arts from America. It really takes in a lot of different periods and cultures that I hadn't, for example, interacted with before. In addition, in the first year, we also get lots of amazing modules which build our skills in academic writing, in visual analysis, all these sort of like important skills from like transitioning from like A-levels to university studying. So that kind of support is there throughout. Plus, we also have languages. In the first year, we are supposed to take a mandatory language module, and I found that really exciting.
And that's delivered through King's College London, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And actually, in your second and third year, you can then opt to take different modules through their arts and humanities department. I took a liberal arts module last year, which I really enjoyed, and it just means that you're, again, that breadth of thinking, you're really kind of widening your horizons. What can students do with an art history degree from the Courtauld?
I mean, there's so many different options once you've graduated. You could go out into the world and explore professions such as the law, banking, consultancy, because there's so many different transferable skills that we get. I personally am really interested in heritage and society, so I think I might go into museums and think about working there and how they're presenting art, for example.
So it's not just kind of art world jobs, it's not just auction houses, it's also...
Super expansive. You could think about different ways of interacting with art, for sure.
It doesn't really close off any doors, does it?
Absolutely not.
Open. Yeah, wonderful.
Art history is all about building skills. It's about being able to analyze, to have critical thinking skills, to be able to think synthetically, which are all things that in this changing world where our intelligence is increasingly artificial, those are the skills that are going to be the most important. So yes, there's plenty of room in the art world if you're interested in curating, if you want to become a professional art historian, but there's so many different other areas that you can go into, from the law to business, everywhere in between. It's all about building the ability to of self-expression, to create cogent, reliable opinions that build confidence, not only in yourself, but allow others to have confidence in the way that you are presenting yourself.
So how do you get there? How do you know where to start with a career like that?
So we really have a really fantastic career service. They put on events throughout the year that are related to like how to market yourself in this current job market, what kind of jobs are there for you with an art history degree. They have CV workshops. They have an end of year alumni networking session with Courtauld alumni that have gone on to do amazing things in not only in museums and galleries, but again in the law and journalism, working in the government, things like that. So there are so many ways that you can get connected and find and have access to and just get these ideas of what you want to do with your career with your art history degree. Yeah, and you can also use the career service up to 2 years after you graduate. So you can contact them and again ask for CV help, review, ask to be directed what kind of career is best for me. There's just so many ways that you can utilize our career service.
And that's another advantage of the Courtauld being small, right? Because they're specialised as well. Everyone in the career service knows exactly what they're doing. So that's great. And I mean, Hannah, there's also a lot of support here at the Courtauld. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so coming from the Students' Union perspective, just let you know what it is. We are the independent representative student body for students that runs alongside the Courtauld, but separate. So we are just for you guys. And we are also the main channel of feedback that you can tell us what things are working, what things would you like to change. And then we have since we're so small as an institution, we can feed that directly to staff and the departments within the institute and get things done. But some support that we do have is, as your first line of contact, the Students' Union, we can help you through interpreting policy, navigating academic appeals. You can also go to your personal tutor, which is who is assigned in your first year, and you keep throughout your entire degree, and that's just like another first contact for you to get to. For financial supports, we have scholarships, the Courtauld bursary, and the hardship fund. If there's ever any emergency situations where you need quick cash, basically, we can also help you navigate getting in contact with our well-being team and our in-house counseling team, and they can help you get assessment and exam adjustments. If you have any neurodivergences, you can get disabled students allowance, DSA, for any study-related costs. We also have academic support contacts, such as our Royal Literary Fund fellows, so they can help you with your writing style or strengthening your argument, that really nitty-gritty stuff that makes your writing better. We also have our lovely librarians who can help you with your research, finding certain resources, because they're also just another wealth of information. And I think some people forget that librarians are extremely skilled in what they do as well. And then we also have our academic skills tutor for any additional support with writing, presentations, any other academic skills. You can just go to them, and all of these contacts you can book one-to-one sessions with. So you really get that close contact, that really close support, and I think that's something that's really special about the Courtauld.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, that trickles down through everything, that sense of community, that there will always be people here to catch you. Friends, faculty, support staff, everyone's here to look after each other, which is really great. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to know anything more about the Courtauld or student experience, you can book into an open day. And we also have campus tours that are running all the time if you want to come check out the building. We also have the Ask a Student platform online where you can chat to both BA and MA students if you have any questions about what life is like from a personal perspective.